I'm filming this because this is just unbelievable what we've got this stud on and what he's having to balance a muff on. And
Muff, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Spain.
The sun's out.
Welcome to Spain. That sounded awful.
Welcome to Spain. Cheesy grin. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to Spain. We've done that bit, haven't we?
We've done that bit.
Feels like I keep getting spanked in the head by these things. Wondered what it was and poked it back. As you can tell, we're not at Stanley Ferry today. We're somewhere a little bit sunnier. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and we're in a village called, well, we're not actually, we're just outside a village called Almaguer near Malaga in Spain.
About 30 minutes inland.
We've been here, 6 days? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's our 6th day today and Shaun's been looking at boats. Constantly. It doesn't help that we kind of subscribe to all the mailing lists for all the brokers, so we keep getting notifications of new boats as they come on sale. Not that we can do much from here, obviously, but we are still looking.
Got to sell the house first.
And we've got to sell the house first, but the house has now been on sale for a week. We're not sure if anything, it could be sold for all we know. We're stuck out here in the middle of the
Nobody's told us anything.
Andalusian hills and nobody's rung us, so we could get home and found that the house is sold, or maybe not. We've been told that it will fly, which is a good thing, so we've just got to wait and see. We're still, as you've probably noticed, been on social media, and we ran a Twitter poll because we want to know how you go. We want to know what your kind of toilet is, because apparently it's like an everlasting discussion, argument, conversation on the canals.
All boaters talk about it.
Is toilets, and we've got the opportunity to pick which one we want. So obviously we've had pump out before, that's all we've ever known. But then cassette toilets, cheaper. And then we've got the environmentally friendly ones. So there's composting toilets, which I quite fancy because it's more environmentally friendly, and you don't have to carry an L-SAN to a point and tip it away. Don't fancy that. And then
you can have a pump out and just flow it up the side of the boat.
Yeah. Then there's the Cinderella toilet, which is just too expensive for us.
Yeah, way too expensive. Singed bottom as well.
And Shaun's scared that it will singe his bottom. He's got this mental image of him running down the centre of the boat with his backside on fire. Putting it in the side of the canal. All you hear is like the and steam coming up the front of the boat. We don't know if it's just because everybody's cheap, but cassette seems to be winning so far.
Everybody's cheap.
Everybody's cheap. And then pump out and then composting. I'm quite fancying composting, but Shaun's not too keen. And we know one or two other boaters that have had kind of mixed experiences with them. So we're gonna have to look at that a little bit further. But thanks if you took part. And the results are on our Twitter feed, which is @Foxes Afloat, if you want to see how it ended up.
Thing is, it's highly likely that we'll just get the toilet that we end up with whatever's on the boat that we buy.
It is, and it's probably going to be either a cassette or a pump out, but we've got a lot of plans for whichever boat we buy, and it is looking like we're going to get a used boat. Excuse me, flies. It is looking like we're going to get a used boat, but we are planning a lot of improvements. We're definitely going to have solar. We're definitely going to be looking at the toilet, one of the two other bits and pieces, things like batteries and charging and things. But it's one of the things we're thinking about, isn't it?
Yeah. Is how much do we pay for a boat? Do we get a cheaper boat and live debt-free, or do we take a little bit of debt on with us and buy the boat of our dreams?
That's the thing, isn't it? Because we've got a limited budget. It's whatever we get for the house, really. So whatever profit we make from the house is what we've got to use to buy a boat. But obviously we've got credit cards and bits and pieces from my business, investors and things to pay off. So it's a tough one, really, because we want to live debt-free. We want to move onto the boat with no debt at all.
And work as little as possible.
That's the whole point of it, isn't it? But do we get a really kind of, I mean, there's a fear. Our fear is that we'll get carried away and we'll buy...
Like we did last time.
Like we did last time, and we buy the most expensive boat that we can actually get with the money that's available to us and not pay some of the debts off and kind of pay the debts monthly like you do with your credit cards and things like that. Or do we go for a more budget option? And I think the fear with us is that we will get carried away and we'll see a boat that's probably 20 grand more than us budget and think, oh, we want that boat. Well, we've got the money. Why not? Let's just pay 100 quid extra a month for the next 40 years. And then we end up working 37 hours a week each again. And that just kind of flies in the face of what we're trying to do, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
So I think we've got to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sensible.
Sensible. We're not sensible. We've never been sensible. The other thing we've been thinking about is what are we going to do between the day that we actually move out of the house, that we exchange contracts and we get the money for the house. That's it, what do we do? Because we can't buy a boat. The brokers are not going to let us put a deposit down on a boat until we've physically got the means to pay for it. I know some of them will let you do that if you've got a date for exchanging contracts, which is going to make it a little bit better.
But there's still going to be a gap.
But there's still going to be a gap between the day we move from the house and the day we move on a boat. And we've been kind of tossing ideas about how we can do that.
Come back out here.
We can come back out here, but we can't bring Dylan.
No, we can't.
And we're missing Dylan like crazy. Really missing him like mad. But yeah, we thought if it hadn't have been for Dylan, we'd have just come out here for a month. The other thing we thought about was actually hiring a boat. We know there's some long-term boat hire companies where you can hire a boat for like 3-6 months.
And we can take Dylan.
So that's a good start. And then Shaun thought of, what was the other one?
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
But I've looked at those and some can be quite expensive. They're really expensive. You pay per night.
So it'd be interesting to hear if you've done that and kind of moved from the house. I mean, a lot of people must do it because you physically can't buy the boat until you've got the money from the house.
We definitely need some ideas and not expensive ideas.
Yeah, we don't want to be paying more than like £500-600 a month. That's how tight we are. And it needs to be somewhere where we can take Dylan as well. Preferably on the water. I think it'd be good if we could hire a boat.
Get a boat.
And then just live for a month or two on the boat.
Or if any of you kind people have got a boat you're not using, give us it for a month.
So if you noticed that the position's a little bit different, my iPhone just overheated and cut off.
Completely blew up.
So we've had to swap for Shaun's phone. So if the position's a little bit different, that's why. Don't hate us too much.
Where did we get to?
We're not cruising the cut, you know. We don't have all this fancy equipment and tripods and millions of pounds worth of ex-BBC tripods and cameras. Sound men.
He'll kill you for that. If you remember from day 2 of our Crick video, we were sat beside the car telling you what we wanted from our boat. What are you doing down there?
It's bugs.
What we wanted from our boat. Well, basically, you've got to ignore that now because we're going to go for a second-hand boat anyway.
No, I don't... Ow! I don't... Ow! Thing. I don't think... When we were talking about what we wanted, it was hypothetical because some people kind of commented on social media saying, oh, it's going to be really difficult finding a boat with exactly everything you've asked for. And I think we were more talking about our perfect boat, the vision in our head of what we would like.
Yeah.
And we know there's going to be compromise, but now that we're like 100% certain that we're going to get a used boat and not a new boat, for lots of reasons, mainly budget, but for lots of reasons, but mainly budget.
But budget.
But the idea we had in his head, we can still achieve because we can get a boat that kind of really closely matches the spec that we're looking for. And we're going to have a budget to change things. So things like solar, maybe changing the toilet, maybe changing things like the sofas and dinette and everything inside there, batteries and charging, everything else. We're going to include a budget to change all that. So it's still going to be our boat. And there's some great vlogs and advice, so we're going to be able to do that easily enough. But I think the other thing that's I think it struck me more than it struck you, is that I'm starting to look at boats now where I'm thinking, oh, that boat is us, rather than, oh, that boat's got everything that we're looking for.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I've picked a couple out, haven't I? And
Yeah,
said,
you
this boat is just us.
There's one particular I like.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily got everything that we've been looking for, but you just kind of look at this boat and think, that is us. I want that boat. I want that boat. And we've seen 2 or 3 within budget as well.
The only thing, it's the front doors might need painting, so Joe, you can come round.
You should see the size of the ants down here. Like this. If
like mice.
You see me lifting my feet up, it's the ants. There's just massive ants.
Just like mice.
Oh, hang on, bug spray. Bug spray. This doesn't kill bugs, it repels them, so I'm not killing anything. There you go. So when we get back home, when we get back home, we're already making appointments again to go and see some used boats. Hopefully the house will have sold within a few weeks.
I think it's going to take about a month.
A few weeks, or Shaun says a month.
3 weeks, is that a month?
3 weeks is a month. So we're going to be looking at brokers again. So in the meantime, we've got a few more days to enjoy this lovely sunshine. Shaun's still looking at boats on brokerage sites, and we're still having a laugh on social media. So follow us on there at Foxes Afloat, and don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Subscribe.
What's that for subscribe? I don't know.
Click subscribe.
Click subscribe.
And there's a bell, isn't there, for notifications?
Yeah,
we're
click
not,
that.
We're not bothered about the notifications. Just subscribe. We just need the numbers.
Yeah, they need to know when we've posted these things.
Nah, I'm not interested in that. I just want to get off this video because this thing keeps pricking me in the head. I'm going to lamp it one in a second. Right, and next time you see us, it'll be from the UK probably. So see you later.
Bye.